Welcome everyone. Hope you all are doing fine. Now, let us start. The first novel we have. The title is Martial Artist Lee GWAK, and it has a rating of 88. The story is about an ordinary martial artist and the importance of not suppressing one's nature. On to the next novel we have. The title of the review is I Am Doing Daily Tasks in the Wizarding World, and the reviewer gives it a rating of 94. They describe the wizarding world as vast and powerful, with wizards capturing gods and reshaping civilizations. The reviewer emphasizes the importance of knowledge and remaining humble on the path of seeking truth. On to the next novel we have. The book, Astral Apostle, is about a man named Zhou Qing who discovers the power to travel to different astral realms and creates vessels for his soul to project onto different realms. He realizes that human civilization is not completely ignorant of the existence of other realms and becomes the only being able to travel amongst countless different shapes and forms. It is a clash of fate between multiple dimensional worlds and multi-dimensional factions. The overall rating for the book is 88. On to the next novel we have. The book, titled Wisher Beware, has a rating of 86 and tells the story of an individual with advanced knowledge in a society that relies on primitive methods. The protagonist becomes a slave in a matriarchal society, and the story contains sexual content relevant to the plot. The author notes that it is a rational fantasy with a unique approach to the isekai genre and that the plot progresses slowly at the beginning but builds off previous achievements. Readers are advised to check the reviews for more information. On to the next novel we have. Damn Reincarnation is a story about a warrior named Hamel who dies before the battle with the devil. He is then reincarnated as Eugene Lionheart, a descendant of fellow warrior Vermouth. Eugene discovers he has new abilities and faces challenges in a new world where demons exist. The story follows Eugene's journey of unfinished business from his past life. The reviewer rated the story 86 out of 100. On to the next novel we have. The story is about a game where humans become demon kings and heroes on another world. The protagonist, Zhang Nu, starts out as an abyssal dragon demon king, the strongest starting bloodline. He can see hidden information and learns about different demon king bloodlines that vary in quality. The description ends by recommending the abyssal dragon bloodline. The rating given by the reviewer is 88. On to the next novel we have. The Lazy King is a novel about a character who has reincarnated into a different world and becomes a demon lord. The character enjoys being lazy and does not value hard work or virtues like glory and honor. The reviewer gives the novel a rating of 86. On to the next novel we have. The article, titled Knight's Nomenclature, is rated 88 and describes a futuristic world where technology and fiction collide. It emphasizes the importance of survival and using fire to combat the darkness. On to the next novel we have. The Reincarnated Villain Makes the Heroines Tearfully Beg for Forgiveness is about Lin Yan, a heavenly emperor who was defeated by the male lead and 10 female leads. He awakens a power to rewrite his past and begins to do so. As a child, he protected and fed one of the female leads, Xiao Yanren, and later married another heroine, Xiao Mei. He rose to become the Heavenly Emperor, but his actions were misunderstood by the world. The story explores Lin Yan's past actions and how he seeks forgiveness from the heroines. The rating for the story is 86. On to the next novel we have. The story is about a player who finds themselves trapped in the game Dungeon and Stone. They must pretend to be a fearless, savage barbarian to keep their secret. The story ends with the computer syncing. The rating given is 86. On to the next novel we have. The story is about Ji Yu Chong, who transgresses into a fantasy world and becomes the fated villain. Though the world's protagonist vows to take revenge on him, Ji Yu Chong is envied by everyone, including the female lead. He discovers a system dedicated to harvesting from the protagonist and decides to fulfill his destiny as the villain. The reviewer rated it 86. On to the next novel we have. The protagonist in My Longevity Simulation must navigate a world where immortality is nearly impossible and the immortal realm is plagued. However, he gains a supreme treasure that allows him to reverse time, and he embarks on an endless path to immortality. He ascends through politics in his second life but cannot find the immortal path. In his third life, he is ultimately killed by an immortal sword. The protagonist, Li Fan, is determined to achieve immortality and will continue to pursue it throughout his numerous lives. The rating for this simulation is 92. On to the next novel, we have. The story is about Zhang Chongsheng, who was switched at birth and raised as a Taoist. He gains the power to not die from aging through the survival system and receives rewards for surviving dangerous events. After 300 years, the Jing kingdom is falling and the puppet king begs Zhang for help to regain their glory. It is set in a world where kingdoms, demons, martial arts rule, and gods don't exist. On to the next novel, we have. The article discusses a strange situation where someone's non-existent daughters have apparently started regressing due to missing their mother. The article has a rating of 88. On to the next novel, we have. The Legend of the Northern Blade follows Jin Mu Wan, the son of a disgraced leader, as he trains in the mountains to master his ancestors' fighting techniques after being accused of colluding with the enemy. He embarks on a journey to avenge his father's death and take down the villains who threaten the world. This show has a rating of 88. On to the next novel, we have. Swordmaster's Youngest Son is about Jin Runcandle, the youngest son of a famous swordmaster who gets kicked out of their clan. He meets a tragic fate but is given a second chance by a god who gives him a new power. Now, Jin must use his power for good and become the world's strongest swordmaster while living up to his greatest potential. My rating for this story is 86. On to the next novel, we have. The novel, Top Tier Providence, Secretly Cultivate for 1,000 Years, follows Han Ju's journey as he discovers he can live his life like a video game in a cultivation world. He spends years re-rolling his cultivation potential and connate providence and decides to cultivate in a low-profile manner for longevity. 1,000 years later, he must take action when the immortal realm decides to clean up the mortal world. Han Ju realizes that deities and gods aren't as powerful as he thought. The reviewer gives it a rating of 88. On to the next novel, we have. Doomsday Wonderland is a novel about a woman named Lin Sanju who realizes her boyfriend is trying to kill her as the world devolves into an apocalyptic hellhole. She must survive multiple worlds with different end-world scenarios and meet superpowered crazies. The novel subverts tropes and features non-op characters with a female-friendly label. Humans evolved into post-humans with abilities to adapt to the new world or mutate into duolojongs to survive. Lin Sanju struggles to make sense of this new world and just live one more day. On to the next novel, we have. The Reincarnator's Tavern is a crossover fanfiction that incorporates various popular franchises and power systems. The story is set in a unique tavern and follows the adventures of reincarnated characters from different worlds. It contains elements of jump chains and D&D and includes 3 chapters. The author's rating for the story is 88. On to the next novel, we have. The Perfect Run is a story about Ryan Romano, an adventurer with the ability to create a save point and redo his life when he dies. He arrives in New Rome and finds a city torn between mega-corporations, sponsored heroes, superpowered criminals, and monsters. Ryan decides to try different paths, from hero to villain, until he finds his perfect ending, no matter how many times he needs to restart. The story has a rating of 86. On to the next novel, we have. Mother of Learning is a story about a teenage mage, Zorian, who is stuck in a time loop after being killed on the eve of a festival. He must unravel the mystery and survive in a world of magic filled with dangers. The reviewer gave it a rating of 88. On to the next novel, we have. The title of the book is Soul of Negeri, and the rating given by the summarizer is 92. The description is about a person calling upon a mighty dragon god named Negeri, who they worship as the owner of the deep soul, the principle of circles, and the first cause of all things. The protagonist is a person whose aura was stolen in a different world and is now seeking to become one with Negeri. That's the end of this video. I will see you soon in the next video. Happy reading.